Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Genevieve. Good morning, Catherine. And Catherine's got her stick. Good. All right, let's do one of our regular routines first, and then we will go into the stick. Who has not done it for a while? I think maybe Catherine. Catherine. Poor Catherine. Catherine, why don't you lead us in the muscle tendon change classic?
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Yes. Catherine, say something.
I Hmm.
So I got a little distracted because our studio is very cold this morning. So I went to close the door and turn on the heat. But so I think I missed something. But I think there were three fairly large mistakes in there. And I believe they all had to do with the order that we were doing things in, which is the most common memory problem with these. So this is a good indication that we need to continue this process of reminding ourselves every morning and doing one of these three routines that we've developed over the last couple of years. Um, I'm not all that great on it either, right? Until you really get these routines under your skin, it's really easy to forget exactly where you are in the routine. So we will continue with this process. But for right now, why don't you grab your sticks and we will do some stick work. And give me a second. I'm going to check with Miss Annie and see whether she wants to join us. Okay, she's nursing a bit of a tummy ache this morning, so she's going to skip this morning, but let us go ahead. And reverse. Very small. And reverse. reverse. And reverse. And sink in your quad. Sink in the quad. Reverse. the only way to do this exercise is to really use your thoracic piston. So when you begin to pull in toward the body, you have to drop into your Ming Men in the back. And your, how can I say? You have to get your chest out of the way. It's not that you deliberately cave your chest in, but by dropping into the Ming Men, right, the chest collapses just naturally. You don't squash it in on purpose. It just drops in, right? So you drop in and then come up and drop in and then come up and drop in and then come up. All right? Jill, you look like you have a question.
I do. This just has to do with, okay, so the thoracic piston basically going from the top to the Ming Men. But what I'm wondering is when you say like open and close, so is it that it's always when you're in your Ming Men, you're enclosed, and in your thorax,
Yeah, yeah, you're thoracic.
you're open?
Well,
Or,
look, just watch. Am I open or closed?
you're totally open.
Am I open or closed?
You are totally closed.
Well, there's the answer.
There's the answer. Okay. Yeah, it's like one of those seeds of doubt. Is just like, is it possible to be closed in your is thoracic, or what do you call this? The
Your thorax, your chest. Oh, the Tanjong.
Tanjong. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Tanjong.
Can you be in your Tanjong and still be closed?
Yeah, that's, I guess, yeah,
What do you think?
that would be really hard.
I think it would be really hard. In China, they use animals for those two positions. So this is called having the back of a bear, right? You're like a bear. You're back in your Ming Men, right? When you're in your chest, it's called having the chest of a tiger.
Hmm.
So this is very young. This is very yin, right? So that kind of answers your question, yes?
Yes, very, very well.
If you're in your back here, right? If you're in your back, you're going to be like this. If you're in your chest, you're going to be like this. Open, close, open, close, open, close. All right? Okay, and that's what you should be doing in this. You do it in every move, but some of the moves it's much more obvious, and in others it's much more subtle. With this one, it's really obvious. You can't bring your stick in if your chest is in the way. So you have to drop and get your chest out of the way. And now you bring your chest forward to push the stick forward. All right, and then into your lower back, and now into your chest. Lower back, chest, lower back, chest, lower back, chest, lower back, chest. And you can see I'm also using my knees too. So these exercises are whole body exercises. When you're doing this move, what are your ankles doing? Right? Can you feel your ankles? Can you feel your knees? Right? Your hip joints? Your whole spine? Let's try this with just one hand, believe it or not. All right? If I come back like this, you have to pull in. Pull. Pull. Well, you're going to have to be up in your Tanjong when you do that, right? Ming Men. Tanjong, Mingmen, Tanjong. These are really good exercises because using the stick as a prop, you can't get away with anything. You have to treat the prop in a certain way. So you can't cheat and let your grip loose. You have to keep your grip the whole way through. Well, if I'm going to keep this grip, right? So just doing this with one hand, you can't cheat. If I'm going to keep my grip, then I have to move my body, my core. And you can see my grip's not changing and losing. Now, when you use both hands, that's that's when the temptation to cheat comes in, all right? Because it's actually rather hard to do this, to keep both hands in a grip.
So your hands don't move at all?
They can move around the stick, but you don't want them to do this.
Ah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Okay.
you see people do that all the time, but the right way to do this is this simulates someone's forearm. And you're, for instance, doing a china on them. You have to keep your grip on their arm. You can't loosen the grip and hold with the tips of the fingers, for instance, all right? Because she won't be able to do the move. And Catherine, I don't know whether you heard me say this, but this is the real point to this. What you're trying to do is develop flexibility, but the flexibility is not in your hands; it's in your core. It's in the engine, right? If you let your hands substitute, then you don't get very much flexibility in the core. So you have to be pretty rigorous holding on to the stick and force the flexibility into your body. All right? Watch.
You don't feel it in your shoulders, for example.
Let's say again.
You don't feel it in your shoulders at all.
Not really. Your shoulders are very quiet. There's a little movement there. All right. But where the movement really is in your center, in your core.
Yeah.
All right. And this is not easy to do because we don't ask ourselves to do this very much. Yeah. How many of you have a stick and do this, right? Well, not very many. You don't ask your body to do this very much. So this is developing a kind of a new skill. What it will give you is much more articulation in the core of the body. We don't think of the core of the body as being articulate. It's your fingers that are articulate. But the core of your body can be articulate. It's just a matter of training it. Right? So as you do this, watch yourself inside. Feel yourself inside. Are you really able to do this movement, right, smoothly through the body? The truth is nobody can. I mean, you can after years of practice, but at first you're not going to be able to. There are going to be hitches in your get along. There are going to be places, there's going to be flat tires in your movement. And so when you identify those, don't get worried about it or anything. Everybody has them, but work on it. What does it mean, right, to pull this in and then to push it out? Pull it in and push it out. Pull it in with your core, not with your arm, with your core. The ideal for this is the stick floats in space. It's turning, but it's kind of just floating in space and turning, all right? And so in order to do that, you've got to drop, and then you have to expand, and drop, and expand, and drop, and turn, and expand. It's kind of tricky. And you might ask, well, why are you doing this? Well, two reasons. One is it's really good for you because you're really working the core of the body, which usually doesn't get much work. And when you think about it, if the core isn't getting much work, just the periphery, you know. The other reason is the martial reason. When you do joint locks, you absolutely must not use your arm. You must use your core body. So this is training in this. If you try to do a joint lock on someone with your arms, you're not going to get anywhere. All right? Because their leverage is as good as your leverage. So you're going to try it and it's not going to work. Instead, you've got to use your core. All right? You have to use your core. You've got hold of somebody's hand and you're turning them. Well, you've got to use every advantage that you can. So in this case, you have to use, all right? You're right in on your body. Okay, let's go out to the ends. All right, watch my hands. All right. Watch this hand back here. I'm going to take this hand away, right? Well, that's quite a spin. All right? You have to do this with this core of the body. It's not this. It's this. So, you can imagine if you're doing a joint lock on someone, those are your two choices. Use your arms or use your core. Now look at the size of my arms. Look at the size of my core. Which one would you rather fight? If you're wise, you want to fight my arms, all right? Because my core is 10 times bigger than both my arms put together, all right? So, all right, use your core.
Could you call out when you're in your Tanjong and when you're in your Mingmen in that?
You do it, you call it out.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Mingmen, Tanjong,
Yes.
Mingmen, Tanjong, Mingmen, Tanjong. Or did I do too many?
Mingmen, Tanjong. Mingmen, Tanjong. Mingmen, Tanjong. Mingmen, Tanjong. Mingmen, Tanjong. Okay, as we go along with these, we're going to practice more lightly than I'm teaching you right now. Because just like with the Tai Chi form, you kind of have to get the outer choreography first. But I just wanted to emphasize really strongly, that's not really the exercise. The exercise is really the core of the body. So as we learn these, we'll lighten up, right? And we'll just do these Qigong style. Not worry too much. Just get it to the point that these exercises become very familiar. And once they're familiar, once you know them really well, then we can bear down on them a little bit. All right, now go all the way down, touch your knee. All right, and good. Okay, on Monday, we'll add a couple new exercises. As you can probably tell, we're sort of just fooling around with this. So we're not doing this in a linear fashion. We're just sort of getting in the pool and swimming around, all right? And we'll slowly sort of collect all this stuff and then put them together into a routine. Okay, guys, you have yourselves a good day, and we will see you Monday. Ciao.